Coverage tonight. I'm Greeny, that's Lewis, that's Booger, and that is the man who invented the draft, Mel Kiper Jr. Mel, give us a look at what we are expecting tonight as we get round two underway.
A lot of fun because a lot of these players, when they talk about Greeny, could have been first-round picks, and nobody would have had an argument with some of the names you're going to see still on the board right now. Day two of the National Football League draft. And I think when you look at where we are right now, injuries were obviously a factor with some of these players. Obviously, you go through interview process, off the field issues there in play. Reason why players that have a ton of talent slide down into the second or third round. Then it becomes a palatable point in the draft where you can bring them into the fold. And you are rolling a dice that they'll get everything together. They'll come back from those injuries, get to 100%, obviously clean up some things they need to work on, and become really good finds in the second round.
But we'll have the commissioner coming up in just a few seconds. I'll remind you that Cleveland has the first pick tonight, followed by the Texans in a trade made with the Giants. Then Tennessee, then Cleveland will pick again. Then we will have the Raiders. Where will the first quarterback go in this mix? That is really a big part of the question. Circle number 40, that's New Orleans with the 8th pick tonight. The Saints, a team, many questions about their starter in Derek Carr. Will he be back this coming year? So that could be a spot where we get the quarterback. There's a lot of activity up on the stage. The band has been loud and ready. The fans are warmed up and are ready to go. Looks like the rain has worn down, and the commissioner is set to get this party started in Green Bay.
Let's go, Green Bay. You ready? Round two. Last night, over 200,000 fans were here, and millions more watched from around the world as we welcome another 32 great stars into the NFL. And tonight, I'm joined by 32 players and legends who will select the next generation of stars to the NFL. Welcome them. These players represent the 2000 draft class on its 25th anniversary, one of the greatest classes in history. That draft brought us the first and only time a club had four first-round draft picks, 12 All-Pros, 28 Pro Bowlers, 1 Hall of Famer, and a quarterback who has become known as the GOAT. Yeah, you know him. Also on the stage, we have players from Wisconsin to represent this great state and great city. Green Bay, are you ready for round two? Unbelievable, great to see you are. Round two of the 2025 NFL Draft is officially open. The Cleveland Browns are now on the clock.
And with those magic words, we get this night underway. A reminder, the Browns originally had the second pick in last night's round one. They wound up making the stunning trade while on the clock. Jacksonville moving up to take the Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter, and the Browns moving down to the 5th slot where they selected defensive tackle Mason Graham out of Michigan, an outstanding player. I know a lot of people believe the Browns did extraordinarily well there. So Mel, the always critical first pick of the second round, what are you looking at here for Cleveland?
33 and 36 for that pick from Jacksonville. And you think about the offensive side of the ball, you get Mason Graham, defensive tackle, to collapse the interior of that pocket and have Myles Garrett coming off the edge in that wide 9. But you have quarterback issue right now. Kenny Pickett right now is penciled in as the starting quarterback. You have a running back issue as well. Wide receiver, Jerry Jeudy needs some help there. So quarterback, running backs, wide receiver are the big need areas for the Cleveland Browns. Picked twice in the early portion of round two. You have some good football players. We've talked about the receivers. Travion Henderson, a dynamic game breaker out of Ohio State. Got a lot of help from Quinshon Judkins coming from Ole Miss to take some of that workload away from a guy like Travion Henderson, who stayed healthy this year. Durability was a concern, but Judkins helped him out in that area. You think about the ability to block, he can do it. Game breaker, great receiver out of the backfield. So there's wide receivers, there's running back, and certainly the quarterback position. What direction did the Cleveland Browns go with these 2 picks to try to make sure that, hey, we get the 2 guys that are going to be the framework and the foundation of this football team moving forward? Is it, in fact, a quarterback? Remember, they get an extra first-round pick next year. Yeah. That's a quarterback-heavy group next year. We'll have to see what Arch Manning does. Got Drew Aller, Penn State, and a host of other quarterbacks. They're going to go high, but do they identify a quarterback? I'm sitting here thinking, Shador Sanders, you think Tyler Sharpe? The quarterbacks are there, but there are running backs and there are wide receivers that can help this football team.
Yeah, you really do like the backs in particular. They need some juice. They need a certain profile of back, right? I mean, you need guys who can rip off explosive plays, and there's a bunch of them at running back sitting right here. I mean, this is the sweet spot for running back. Obviously, the quarterback discussion is going to be one we're going to have all night long, and it's going to go beyond Shador Sanders because look, Tyler Shucks is a real name now. This is a real quarterback, so it's going to be interesting to watch him as well. Look, offensive line is still a position that they need to address, especially the tackle position where they need to lock it down. They don't really have the kind of people that they can count on from a durability standpoint right now to tackle the spot. So look, they have some options here. There's some really good players on the board. These first 10 picks are going to be interesting as heck. Because there are some teams that need quarterbacks, and there are some fantastic wide receivers, running back, pass rushers, corners, safety. You've got a lot of good-looking players, and Andrew Berry has his pick of the litter to start it off.
I would just add to that, wide receiver would be one. But what about an edge rusher? Talk about Myles Garrett, who's a dominant player in this league. He needs a running mate. He needs somebody on the other side. I understand you got Mason Graham to push the pocket, but you need someone on the other side.
Look at that wide receiver position, wherever the quarterback is. Wide receiver and a game-breaking running back against the offensive line. But they got a lot of work to do on that side of the ball. As I said, right now, Kenny Pickett being fencing over the quarterback.
All right, we've got a legend out here to make the pick, and he is from Wisconsin. Joe Thomas is announcing the Browns selection.
How about them Brownies? Here we go with the 33rd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. Your Cleveland Browns select Carson Schwesinger, linebacker, UCLA.
You have to love this story. Versatile linebacker, originally walked on at UCLA after being unranked as a recruit. Wound up a first-team All-American, a semifinalist for the Butkus Award. Mel, last year he had 4 sacks, 2 picks, and 115 tackles.
Amazing what he was able to do coming there as a walk-on. Beginning of the year, you didn't even have Carson Schwesinger anywhere on your map, on your radar. Look what he was able to accomplish. Led the nation with 90 solo tackles. Watch the number 49. Quick to diagnose the boy. He is in there making a tackle. 136 total tackles. Led the Big Ten. He had 8.5 tackles for loss. 4 were sacks. He had 2 interceptions as well. This kid was all over the field against Minnesota. He had 13 tackles, 4.5 for loss, and 2 sacks. Against Washington, he had a career-high 17 tackles. You see him here. He was a big-time performer. Top instinct, flies to the football, good feel in coverage as well. Good ball skills, of course, to be reckoned with as a blitzer. He is complete. Major asset on special teams. He brings it. He was discussed, and I had him as a 32nd best player on the board. He was talked about as a late first-round possibility. That was reality. He was in the mix to be a late first-round pick. So, again, heavy defense for a team needs some offensive help. Picked again at 36. Now you have Mason Graham, Carson Schwesinger, the interior.